Hey guys and gals, today we're going to do a little shootout on Streamlight weapon mounted light products. We have the TLR-1 series here, and we have the TLR-1S, the TLR-1HL, which is the high lumen model, and then the TLR-1HP, which has got a little bit bigger bell on it, as you can see. So let me read you the differences here. I don't have them all completely memorized on what they are. Alright, the TLR-1S is 4 ounces, and the body on the HL and the S are almost identical, a couple of very minor differences. It's 3.3 inches long, 1.5 inches wide, 1.4 inches tall, same as the next one. They're all IPX7 waterproof. This model, the TLR-1S, is 300 lumens, and it has a burn time of 2.5 hours. So pretty good, pretty decent burn time. A little over $100 is what this one's going to run you. If you can find it on Amazon or at your local gun shop, it should be a little over $100, $105, $110 for this model. This also has the strobe on it. All of them come with the keyways to mount to different pistol front rails, as well as 1913 keys to mount to a standard 1913 rail on a rifle or shotgun or whatever you might have it on. The TLR-1HL for high lumen specs are almost identical to this, only this one is 630 lumens. So more than double the lumens. It has a completely different parabolic focus body than the TLR-1S does, and a different focus to the LED, as you'll see when we go outside and turn these on to get a look at what they do in darkness at 25 and 50 yards. And then the big one, as you can see, the bodies below the bells are similar. It uses the same body structure, same length, same everything. The one difference is this one has a plug for a pressure pad. If you're mounting it on a long gun of some type and you want to run a pressure pad back to make it easier to activate, you can do that with this model. This model, as you can see, has a different reflector on it. This reflector really focuses the beam. You have a much tighter beam structure with a little less, corona or overflow to the light on this particular model. This model, I think, weighs just a little bit more. I think it's about 5.5 ounces, 5.3 ounces actually. I forgot to mention the battery life actually on the HL, so let me go back to that. The battery life on this is 1.25 hours. So twice the lumens, half the battery life. The battery life on this is 2.5 hours, just like on the TLR-1S. They all use 2 CR123A batteries. Like I said before, comes with different keys to match up to different rails, IPX7. These have been great lights. I've had them well over a year. For the test tonight, I put fresh batteries in all of them. I don't know how good the video is going to show it up once we get outside, but I'll tell you, on my rifle, even though this has such a big focus collector on the front, it really, really identifies what you're looking at with that strong focus beam. So, without further ado, let's go outside and let the lights speak for themselves. Okay guys, as you can see, it is dark. I'm out on the range. It's about midnight, and there is a few stars out, not much of a moon. So here is the first. This is the TLR-1S. We are at 25 yards. I'm at my 25-yard line. So as you can see, lights them up pretty well. That is a TLR-1S, of course, for the strobe. Alright, so now this is the TLR-1HL, the high lumen model. As you can see, at 25 yards, it has a much wider spread. The corona is a little bit wider on this. You can see more of the targets, and they're much easier to identify at 25 yards. Okay, so now we're going to switch to the big boy. Big in body size, but not in lumens. The TLR-1S HP. Now, as you can see, the corona is much brighter. Matter of fact, the camera, there we go, is having a little bit harder time. So this has a direct spot. So when you're shining this spot, you can see how bright white and hot it is in the camera. To the human eye, it is much easier to identify what you're looking at and specifics. I mean, I can actually read the writing for the grizzly targets that I have with this light. I can see the bullet holes in the cardboard targets. So for me, it's a little bit bigger, but I'll tell you, target identification is much nicer with this unit. That's 25 yards. We'll move it back to 50. Okay guys, we are back at the 50-yard line. This is the 300 lumen TLR-1S from 50 yards. So you can certainly make them out, and the camera's not quite as good, you'll have to take my word for it. You can make them out much better with your eye than what you're seeing on the camera. So that's the TLR-1S. Alright, we will switch over to the TLR-1HL. Give the camera a second to catch up for the different lighting source. As you can see, once again, the corona spread on this light is much greater. I can cover nearly, well, I think actually I can see all of my targets down there at 50 yards with just this light. It doesn't have as good of a spot necessarily, but it really does flood, and it definitely has a higher light and lumen output. Alright, so now we're going to switch to the 200 lumen HP. Now, as you can see, it doesn't light up the entire area, but you can really see that spotlight light up each individual target, and there is enough spill to identify threats about 15 yards. You can go about 7 to 8 yards on either side of the spot with my eye right now and clearly make out what is there. So this is from 50 yards, and that is as far as my personal range here on the compound, so to speak, goes. So I hope this has helped you guys out if you're trying to make a decision. If you don't mind the size, I gotta say I really like the target and threat identification from the HP. But the TLR-1HL, I tell you what, it lights them all up, just not with a specific spot. Alright guys, until next time.